Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors side, just reacting to the Toronto Raptors 132-125 loss to the Boston Celtics, and I know what people are thinking.
Woo!
A loss? Why are they so happy? Well, if you didn't watch the end of the last game, we thought this could have went much more horribly, much worse, much more just awful fashion. But we put up a fight. The shorthanded Raptors came out. There were definitely some positives to take away from the bench tonight. Went 8 players deep. Definitely some tough things to take away with injuries. We'll dive into all of that. But Riker, what are your initial takeaways on this game?
And you start us off with the understatement of the season, thinking that it could have. We predicted it was going to go horribly. Catastrophe. Burning train wreck, burning dumpster fire. We did not expect this one to even be competitive. So it wasn't too bad. Net positive, and the Raptors have the worst record against the Celtics of all teams in the NBA over the last, I think, 5 seasons. So to be close with this many players out, it's not the worst thing. I want to apologize off the jump for 3 things, Ben. One, I've had this uncontrollable itch in my nose all day. If I sneeze, it's involuntary. Number 2, it was something along the right. The mic, it cut out. I don't know why. And people were flaming me for having the Walmart mic. If the Walmart mic makes a return, we will get it sorted. Just not on this podcast. And then 3, the Walmart hat itself. I finally got the curls going again. I want to preserve those for a little bit. I'm like Jason Tatum. When I got the curls, I'm top five. Top five. So I'm just going to get those things out of the way. Then how did I feel about this one? Career nights. Career nights all around. Chris Boucher, 30 bomb. Kyle Lowry, did he finish with 20 assists? At least 19. And Terrence Davis had a big evening, capped with an injury. But, a lot of good things happen.
Yeah, we'll talk about Terrence Davis first, and fortunately, we get a week off to let the Walmart hat, let the hair sort of get fresh and flowed. But definitely a lot of players that could have gotten the Walmart hat in the last game didn't get it tonight. And Chris Boucher, certainly a guy. I guess he played well in the last one, but 30 points as you mentioned, 5 rebounds, and I was thinking about it watching this game. Riker, I want to get your take on it, so I'm keeping us both on the screen for this little rant, but the way Chris Boucher shoots the ball, whether he makes, whether he misses, he is just always slinging it up, never afraid to let it fly. And whether there's a guy in his face, whether it's Williams, Tatum, Tiny Tice, whoever's there, right? He just lets it fly. Imagine if Matt Thomas had that confidence. Imagine if Matt Thomas just came into the game and shot it when he was open, the same way Chris Boucher does. I think he could be an all-star. So that was just one of my big takeaways from this game, because Chris Boucher is just an absolute monster when when the shots are going down. We've had questions intermittently about his three-point shot over the course of the season. He's like a bad window washer. It's streaky, but he's on a hot streak right now. So when he's doing that, the defense has to play out with him. He's shown a little bit of a handle this year as well, making a few drives, one crazy dunk where he took I don't know who it was, maybe Thompson or Williams off the dribble, came down, did like a Dr. J sort of windmill underneath the rim. He's dribbling, he's finishing, he's got those awkward finishes. Chris Boucher is a solidified bucket getter for this team. So I'm just happy to see that with all of his confidence and everything coming together for him.
Don't overhype, man. Don't overhype. We live on hope on this Raptors Digest, but we know how inconsistent he is. And I'm going to give Matt Thomas the benefit of the doubt. I agree. He could use a bit more confidence, but for Chris Boucher, he ain't big, but he's still a big man. He has the bigs that typically defend him. They are required to play some amount of help defense, varying extents depending upon the team that you're playing. But typically, right, it's a man-to-man set, and Chris Boucher just lives out at the three-point line. He's not streaking in a lot. He's just out there to put up shots. So there's usually a little bit of space, a little bit of time that he has, where Matt Thomas, he's being guarded by the 1 or the 2. They're just going to stick on. Why would you leave the guy who's going to come in to shoot? I mean, you can make the same argument for Chris Boucher, but that's the benefit of the doubt that I'll give him. But I don't want to take away from his evening because, I mean, however this goes in, I don't know. Listen, if you ever played basketball in Newfoundland at one point or another, you've probably heard of Baz Kavanaugh. We're gonna We're going to bring him from the dead. And you've probably done the line drill where you have your proper form. You're standing, you got your toe on a line, you got your elbow on a line, your wrist on a line. You're just shooting it up, get the ball to drop right back down. I don't know how Chris Boucher would do that with his form. It's impossible. It's impossible to do that drill. So good on him for shooting well.
We are, I don't even know, 5 minutes in this podcast, and we already got a Baz Kavanagh shout out. That's a quality podcast. This is a classic right here going on. But shout out Chris Boucher. I love it when this guy sort of gets on fire. But we, as you mentioned, career highs being flown left, right, and center in this game, and Kyle Lowry, 19 assists on this one. Struggled a little bit from the field. 3 of 11 from the three-point line. 5 of 18 from the field. Hit a couple of really nice threes, but he did have some really weird pull-ups that were maybe ill-advised. But I guess when you're the Raptors GOAT, you can let them fly whenever you want. But he made up for those missed shots with just shot creation, getting people in the right places. He single-handedly, it seems like, turned around Stanley Johnson's season, just kept feeding him for open looks, and he came back just splashing down those threes. So I don't know, Kyle Lowry, the thing about Lowry's assists, because he's not like a Kyrie Irving or a Ja Morant, where the passes are really flashy and they're going all over the place, they're behind the backs and stuff. Lowry doesn't really do that. He's a guy that just gets people in the right position, the right place at the right time. He knows when to get certain people going, and tonight, as I brought up, with Stanley Johnson, he had some really nice plays to Baines. He's had Boucher when he was on fire. Lowry was feeding it to everyone. So shout out Kyle Lowry. He's that floor general. He's that creator, and certainly better than Ricky Rubio.
I don't know if they were pity assists to Stanley Johnson tonight, though. It seemed like they were playing hot potato for sequences where Lowry would literally get halfway into his jumper. He'd be in the air and then pass it back to Stanley Johnson. He wanted to get that man going. He's better than Ricky Rubio. He's better than the lot of them. Just look at what this man can do. I'm going to take this opportunity to say this is going to be divisive because people are like, put Kyle Lowry on the trade block. Some are saying good riddance. Some want to keep him. If you were thrilled to see Kyle Lowry get a career high in assists, forget about the loss. But if you were thrilled to see him get a career high in assists, get into the like section. And I just had somebody DM us asking for the original time that we brought up like section. I have no idea. Just go back through the lives. I don't know. But Ben, we're also on the...
Ago. I'd say 3
probably
weeks ago.
That's solid because we only started really recently with the live reactions. So get into the like section. We're also on the road to 20K subs. Run the animation. I'm going to keep talking over it if that's all right. Helps out the channel a lot. But Ben, I will also say this in terms of, you make the point. He's not a flashy passer. He's not a Ja Morant. He's not a Kyrie Irving. That's what you do. You know, you got that crafty game. You can just split the defense. No looks, right? The classic, who is it? The White Thunder or Chocolate Thunder or White
Jason
Chocolate?
Williams.
Oh, Jason Williams.
Elbow passes.
The elbow behind the back elbow pass, right? Me, I don't pass at all. So I'm not like Kyle Lowry. He's what I would imagine that Josh would be, just a fundamental passer. So shout out to Josh, who's running a new segment on our channel. I'm plugging it. The King of the North segment. He's highlighting Canadian basketball players, so go and check that out too. Back into this game, Ben, the last thing that I want to talk about before the segments, my segues are crazy tonight. The last thing that I want to talk about wasn't a career game, but it was a mighty fine game. Terrence Davis, who we've been incredibly low on. I think we spent probably 7 minutes hating on him in the last podcast. He reemerged better, then got injured. What do you feel about him tonight?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call it hate, as it was fair criticism, and we both sort of finished that rant saying this guy can be a real impact player for this team, just got to get his mindset right. And sure, he did make some poor decisions in this game, because decision-making's been the whole thing with Terrence Davis this season, just driving into traffic and making errant passes, and he had some plays like that at the start of the year, and it felt as the game went along, and maybe it's just a case of getting consistent minutes, right? Having a couple games to really get your bearings, get everything going, and that's a real thing when you're playing and stuff. Not everyone can be you and I. We've been bringing up Newfoundland basketball, our sort of bags. Not everyone can come off that Newfoundland provincial team bench like you and I, Riker, and me throw you elbow passes, you got that shot cooking, right? So Terrence
This
Davis
is like the worst plug. If people knew, they would know how pathetic this is. But listen, Just like Brian Scalabrine today, what are you going to tell your kids about this championship run? Yeah, today I was a bench player. I played 0 minutes in the championship for the Celtics. But 5 years from now, I was a role player. 10 years from now, I was a starter. 20 years from now, I was the MVP of the finals, baby. So that's going to be us talking about Newfoundland basketball. We'll probably have won the national championship 5 years down the road, Ben.
Bro, you know we did. But yeah, we're rambling on. Games like this you got to, but Terrence Davis, he was making the right decisions. He was shooting the threes, he was driving. He's going to be in a bunch of the segments, so I don't know if we should dive too much into him, but it's nice to see him get his game around, and we'll talk about the injury and stuff after cuz that's really unfortunate. But let's just swing it straight into the segments. And tonight, the spicy Pele of the day, and it's going to TD. It's going to Lowry and TD, right? Lowry's, I think he's the Philadelphia team. What are they, the Eagles or something? The Fly Eagles fly. He does that wing thing when they're playing in the Super Bowl. Know nothing about football, but I know when someone throws touchdown pass, threw it down there. I don't know what he was doing, right? He threw it. I thought it was way too high, right? TD, clearly this guy played football in the past because he caught that with that one arm. It was like that highlight of the guy that caught it with the glove.
What position do you call the guys that catch the balls in football?
Clearly a running back.
No. No. Oh.
I have no idea. Catcher, something like that. The TD quick.
Oh, people are gonna blame us for laughing and enjoying this too much.
This is too much, right? But TD clearly plays that position. Got that catch, threw that scoop layup up behind his head. This man's was balling.
I'm good. Yeah. It was good.
So, shout out TD for that spicy Pele of the day.
Crying. Swing into the next one. Not all can be the spicy Pele. Some just make you say, oh, geez. And, I mean, obviously, just that sequence of explaining, using an analogy you know nothing about. I gotta stop. Oh my god, that's too funny. Oh jeez. I don't know if there was one in this game. Oh, I actually do have one. So Chris Boucher, they get a good steal. It's a momentum. I gotta calm down. It's a potential momentum swinging play. Chris Boucher gets it on the fast break. Tries to do it behind the back in transition, going full speed. The pickup defender is Kemba Walker. Right? I mean, you have a guy who's basically a veteran point guard in the league, and then you have Chris Boucher trying to do fancy moves on him, trying to be, I don't know, maybe he re-saw that video of Tristan Thompson on the Cleveland Cavaliers when he went coast to coast and had a behind-the-back move. I believe JaVale McGee had a sequence where he went full court and did a couple of dribble moves. Tim Duncan, he crossed up LeBron James and somebody else in the same play. Chris Boucher, he unfortunately did not get added to that highlight reel. That was my OGs, Ben.
You know, Riker, there's a lot of OGs happening in this game. A lot of wild stuff, a lot of wild football plays going on from these guys. I had some OGs in mind early on. Oh, it's back to me. Came back. DeAndre Bembry. Point Bembry was out there for large stretches of this game, and looking like tragic Bronson, whatever Shaq calls big men that dribble. I don't know. Bembry's nice as a role player, but when he's sort of driving in and then throwing hook passes to the guy in the third row of the bench, that's a tough look. So, yeah.
Tragic Bremson. That doesn't have any good ring to it.
Tragic Bemson?
Bemson. Then the one, the only, Damari Carroll Gold Star Award for worst performance of the evening. Obviously, Terrence Davis having a good game, then getting injured. At least he has a week off. I don't know. What did it even look like? Did they say ankle? Knee?
Yeah. I thought it was the ankle, but it's tough to tell.
Injuries always get my gold star, especially when somebody's looking promising and you want to rely on them. And there's been such a lack of bench scoring, so you would have hoped that he could use this, especially against a fantastic team in the Boston Celtics. You typically throw it zone and the Raptors can't figure out how to score against it. Thought this could have been a real confidence booster for him. So, unfortunate injury.
Yeah, hopefully, and the one good thing about it is we got a week off now. We'll have a little bit of time to rest. So if it's something minor, maybe the momentum could carry over, get a little break, get a little breather. So definitely some positives. Definitely hoping TD gets healthy and is fine, because this was really his best game of the season, without a doubt, I'd say. So he kind of looked like the TD of old. So hopefully it carries over. He's healthy. Hopefully it's nothing serious. We'll find out. We'll give all the updates here. But yeah, hopefully he comes over, carries over that momentum. And finally, we didn't really talk about much, but Aaron Baines, I thought, had a solid performance tonight as well. 13 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, hit a 3. It's also a little excuse to bring out the little segment we got on the screen. So shout out Aaron Baines, shout out this team. They at least came out and fight. If they played this level of basketball, this amount of energy against the Pistons, we probably would have got one win out of this depleted stretch. But unfortunately, we just sucked last night, and Wayne Ellington ripped the soul out of our bodies. And then tonight we came with some energy, almost got the dub, but it is what it is, Riker.
It is what it is, Ben. This was the funniest podcast that we've ever had, and you know what? I know some people are going to be frustrated about us having so much enjoyment in a loss, but that's how you got to treat these things, Ben. You got to find the silver lining, so that's it.
We're one game closer to Cade Cunningham for those those tankers. But you guys are the best for making this far. Check out the Twitter, the Instagram, all that cool stuff. The TikTok, it's officially back. First one's been posted. I'll probably post another one after this. So definitely check that out. It's a new account. It's a new one. We want to get that get back on the For You page, because apparently we're violating community guidelines on the old account. So at Raptors Digest on TikTok, articles being posted on RaptorsDigest.ca. As always, good stuff. Right.